All right, some of you may remember meeting Chris and both the Corvette Grand Sport and the Corvette coupe that he's working on. Hey, Chris.
Hey, good morning, Barry.
I think it's time to give the folks a little bit of a tour.
Sure, sounds great. Well, we'll start in here in this garage. This is my shop. This is where I do most of my work and some of it a little bit in the driveway. But going through my fall cleaning, everything kind of gets stored and put away for the summer. It's so hot, and then it turns into a big mess. So I'm going to go through everything, get the cars out, and get started. But so this is my 65 Cobra Replica.
Okay.
I bought this. It was an interesting story. I'll make it quick. I was trying to buy a 69 Camaro out of California. Turned out it was stolen. And so I obviously backed off on that deal. As soon as I told the guy I was flying out, he fell off the radar, and then I found out the car was not legit from the shop that actually looked at it for me.
Oh, wow.
So I kept looking, and then I stumbled across this in New Mexico. Talked to the guy, super nice guy. He actually said, hey, he goes, I'll pull it off the market until you get out here, take a look at it. I drove up there, grabbed a trailer, and I took it for a drive, and it's fantastic. I love the car, and it's I just put a new set of tires on it, cleaned the tank, tuned the carb. A couple little things I still want to change. I'm not super happy with some of the stuff in the interior, the shifter, that little center console, a couple things there that I want to change, but I think ultimately the car is it's a really nice.
How old is this build, and what kit is it from?
The tires that were on it were from 1990, I think. They were coated at 90.
Okay.
And last year, my daughter and I had taken it to lunch, and one of the tires had gone flat, and it just, you could see all the cracks in the tires. So when I went to the tire shop, they looked at it and said, oh my gosh, these are from 1990. So I think the paperwork that I have on this, I believe it's a 1990, 92, 91, 92.
Okay.
It is a Shell Valley kit.
Okay.
Really nice, nice kit, nice build. Like I said, a couple things that I want to change on it. But gosh, when you take a look at the frame and stuff, it's not, Mustang 2 stuff. It's not. I mean, it's really built to resemble and behave like the old Shelby Cobras.
Okay. And what's powering it?
It is a 351.
Okay.
And it's been worked over to a 427. I've got the paperwork on the kit and everything.
Okay.
So it's not super hopped up. It sounds really good. It's got plenty of power, but it's not like 700 horsepower or anything like that. It's
but
just
still,
it's a good fun driver. Yeah. This one on top, 1926 Roadster Track T. I'm sorry, if you come around the front is really where she's pretty. And we can't really see because of where I got it, but at some point maybe we can get her down from there this fall, but it's a really neat build.
Oh, yeah.
This thing was built in 2010, I believe. I bought it from a gentleman in Kentucky. This has been basically a piece of art. I don't think it ever was really driven much after the build. As a matter of fact, the guy had a beautiful garage at his house that looked like an art museum, and he had motorcycles and pictures, and this was sitting in the middle. I like to drive everything, so I've been driving it. It's a 1926. It's got some fiberglass parts, some steel parts. It's a crate 350, 350 horsepower with a 204R transmission, overdrive. You could drive it anywhere you want, although it's the stiffest car I own.
Oh yeah, so the suspension's...
Yeah, it's a little, and think about, they had those beams in the front on the originals, and this has got independent suspension, and it's still pretty stiff. It's a super fun drive, though, and loud. It's got baffles, but it is absolutely the loudest car
it looks like,
as well. So
looks like it's coming right on out right there.
Yeah. So super neat, super neat car, really fun.
Well,
and oddly enough, when I bought it, I was looking for a car I could put together real quick, clean it up, get it ready, and then run it through one of the auctions here in town. I took it for a drive, and then another drive, and then my wife and I took it to dinner, and then I took it to coffee one morning. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to hang on to this one for a little bit.
Kind of fun, huh?
It's a super fun car. Yeah. Nothing I want to drive, for 2 hours, but 20 to 30 minutes out to dinner, out to coffee, it's just fantastic. Yeah, really fun.
Very good. All right, well, stepping out to another bright colored car, what in the world have you got going on with this?
So 1968 Camaro Convertible. No, nothing, not a Z28, not an RS, SS. Matter of fact, the original 327 is on the stand right here. It is seized up. That's how I bought it with the car. So that is numbers. It's a numbers matching car.
Okay.
So that'll be good if somebody wants to rebuild it. I didn't buy this car to keep it.
Okay.
I really liked it. It had been sitting in a garage for probably about 10 years.
Uh-huh.
He hadn't put a lot of miles on it. I drove it around for about a month. Pretty much everywhere I went, I drove it for about a month, which was really fun.
Yeah.
The weather was nice, but I'm gonna do the Z28 stripes on it. I'm gonna clean up a few things, a couple things I like, a couple things I'm not crazy about, and just make it really roadworthy and fun and safe to drive for the next owner. So
Well, it looks like a really solid car.
It is a really solid car. It's great.
But it's just not going to fit in for you as a long-term keeper car.
No, you know, I just with everything else I've got, this is not one I wanted to keep. I'm thinking if it was a hard top, I might have kind of gone for it a little bit more, but
yeah, some people are more convertible people.
Yeah, for sure. And it's a great drive. I mean, I'll tell you, my wife and I took it many nights out with the top down, and it's just a beautiful car. It's a good cruiser. It really, truly, and it's got a 383 in it.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, So it's got a 383, and it sounds really good.
Okay.
And then it's just got the original transmission and stuff in it. So
if you sold it, are you going to sell it with the 383 in it and just include the old block?
I'm gonna figure that out. I haven't decided if I'm going to send the engine out to a machine shop and have that 327 built and then do the swap and sell it as an original matching numbers car, or I might sell it with the 383 and sell the original motor with it and let the new owner kind of go from there. So we'll see how time allows. Yeah, depending on how busy I get.
That's understandable.
So a couple more modern cars. I won't spend too much time on these, but I have a 2006 350Z. I bought from a neighbor. His wife bought it, original owner. Hard to find these that haven't been completely chopped up, modified with the exhaust pipes and air filters and everything. And it's a stick.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so it's a 6-speed, 50,000 original miles, just super clean, super nice. I did the tires and wheels. I like that style wheel. I have the original tires and wheels still.
I got you.
It's got the big brake kit on it. Super nice cruiser. These were never super powerful, but really a lot of fun on the mountain roads, curvy roads and stuff. But I think, you know, if you're looking at the market on these, they're starting to come into that collector market because most of them that were out there have either been modified or chopped up, and not a lot of good original cars left that haven't been, you know, just haven't nothing that's been well taken care of anyway.
Right.
So
right.
I have a Infiniti 2017 Infiniti Red Sport Q60.
Oh, okay.
Now, this one I bought for myself a few years back. It's comes with 400 horsepower stock. I've done a programmer, I've done exhaust, I've done intake. So I'm, you know, guesstimating somewhere between 450 to 500 horsepower is where it's at now. It's fast enough. It moves.
So its appearance, which is pretty conservative, really, it belies the speed it can do, huh?
Yeah, it's super neat, and you know, it's a great cruiser. You know, we can take it to Vegas, and it'll cruise just like any normal car. But if you get on it, it really is a fun car to drive.
Wow. What year did you say this one is?
This is the 2017, which is the first year of the Q60. They made the 4-doors in 2016, and then they went to started making the coupes in 2017. Matter of fact, neat thing about these, for the people who own them now, is they stopped making them altogether in 2022.
Okay, so
my
just a few years
just a few years of production. Not a lot of the Red Sports around, which were the 404 horsepower version. So it's kind of not why I bought it initially. I like the Infiniti brand, and just having a 400 horsepower car seemed fun to me. And now that it's kind of getting to that area where it could be a collector car, I'm just going to hang on to it for a while.
Okay,
pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So, Barry, the infamous Camaro.
Yeah.
So I bought this a few years ago. My intention was to literally just go through it real quick, paint it. It ran and drove when I bought it. I love the body style.
It's got the little split bumperettes up front.
Yeah. So I put it over on the side of the house over here.
Yeah.
And we've never had any problems with rats or any type of rodent, but it was back there for about 6 months. And I went to pop the hood to move it over here about a month ago, and I sent you a picture of the engine compartment.
Yeah.
And I cleaned everything out, tried to start it. I can't get power to the inside, so they chewed through a wire somewhere.
Yeah.
I have brand new seats reupholstered there inside. I have brand new carpet. I've got a brand new 383 long block on a crate underneath those tires behind the Grand Sport.
Okay.
That's supposed to go in this car. The transmission's been rebuilt. It's just a turbo 350. So it's in the process of getting there. The rats have kind of set me back a tad.
Yeah, that was an unexpected setback, right?
Yep. But it's a 70 and a half, so it's a bit unique.
Yep.
I bought it from a friend of mine. Him and I had coached our kids playing soccer when they were just tiny. And he wanted to just buy something he could drive. So I bought this from him. I helped him get a 68. He bought a 68 Camaro Rally Sport. So it's the white with the orange stripes. Beautiful car. And that's his driver, and I'm trying to sort through this one. So we'll see how it goes.
What is your long-term plan for this car?
You know, every time I think about selling it, I had a Trans Am as a kid. That's what I used to take cruising all the time, same body style. And every time I think about selling it, I look at the body style, and it pulls at me. So I don't know yet.
Okay.
I'm thinking. I thought about it. I thought initially I was going to sell it, but every time I start thinking about it, and I pulled it out here and parked it, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm going to keep it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. My plan so far, if you can kind of picture, I'm thinking I'm going to do something a little more retro. A little modern look. I'm going to do it in white with the like a gray gray Z28 stripes, and then I'm going to etch them out in like an orange.
Oh.
So I've seen a few cars done that way. I really like the way the contrast works. So plans change, and this is a long way from getting painted, but that's where I'm thinking right now.
Yeah. Okay. And what are you leaning on here?
A 1997 Dodge Viper. So this I've had for almost 20 years.
Really?
Yeah, I've had this car forever. Drove it to soccer in the morning on Sunday mornings. It's always been a Sunday car. I bought it with like 12,000 miles. It's got 23,000 on it now. I put about 1,000 a year, 800 to 1,000 a year on it. So it's not a daily.
No, it looks beautiful. It's in great shape.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a really fun car. Well, I shouldn't say that. The exhaust was modified, but it was like that when I got it.
Okay.
I bought performance brakes, rotors and brake pads for it. I haven't put them on yet. I just updated these wheels. I got a great deal on these. These are off a late model Viper, and they fill out the wheel wells much nicer than the old ones. Up on my shelf back there, you can see the old tires and wheels in the other garage, but I just like the look better. When I bought it, it has a couple little things that just I wanted to fix on it. Don't know how that happened, but there's a couple little chips in it, a couple little paint, things that I always intend to fix it, but I'm always so busy. I just and it doesn't obviously affect the driving of the car, but yeah, it's. So it's been a staple here. It's been here forever.
And no plans for it to move on, right?
No, yeah, this is going to be a keeper. You know, it's I like what they always say in the car shows. We don't really own these cars. We're really just curators, you know, and then we're just hanging on to them and maintaining them for the next people who are going to own them. So I know my kids, or I hope my kids are going to grab one and hang on to it for themselves. But, you know, I'll take care of them until then. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So.
Now, what about the two cars behind me?
Oh, well, for those people who haven't seen...
For those who haven't seen the two videos we've posted, or the few videos.
Carl's Corvette, running driving.
Okay.
Still need to do the brakes. Haven't done much with it. I kind of parked it in here, so waiting for the summer, and which, you know, the weather's so nice now. We're getting to that point where I can actually start working longer hours. So Carl's Corvette, he was over here yesterday, so that's going to be next. And my Grand Sport, that's also not going anywhere that I ever intend to sell it. So it's just it's a great car. You know, my wife and I bought it on Valentine's Day a few years back. It's a great story. We picked it up in northern Arizona, and I just have always liked this body style. And it's funny when, you know, people are like, oh, it's got a body kit, or oh, it's, you know, one of those California cars, and a lot of people don't know the story of the Grand Sport.
Right.
And you know, but it's interesting. I always wanted to put the two together. Kind of take a look at the bodies, you know, and you can kind of see the difference and see the similarities. So it's kind of fun having them in the garage at the same time too.
Yeah. Let me walk to the other end and turn around looking at it the other way so we can see,
Yeah, sorry about the mess.
see the angles. That's okay. Here's the back of the Grand Sport, and here's the front of the 67, right?
67, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's nice that the two Corvettes are having a chance to kind of hang out with each other for a little while. And for those who might want to just compare the interior and the dash layout.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can kind of see, there's the original, how General Motors built it in 67. And here's the slightly modified Go Fast version on the Grand Sport.
A little more basic.
Yeah.
Little necessities only.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that's great. Well, thanks, Chris, for showing me around. And
thanks for coming over, Barry.
It's fun to just kind of share with the community, people around Phoenix that are interested in some of these different cars, and you know, make friendships based on the connections. So that's really cool.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Chris.
Yep.